Does the Devin White thing excite you? I just feel like he's the type of guy who can
Mm-mm.
make plays sideline to sideline.
Man, I was excited about that signing. I kind of had a vision right after we kind of played Tampa a little bit. I said, man, if Devin become a free agent, I could see him coming over here just
Yeah.
because it feel like it's a fit for him. We need a linebacker because you've been here.
Yeah.
We know we D-line driven.
Always.
So it's D-line driven. So they just need the linebackers to be able to hit and run, and he does a good job of that. And he can cover. So I think Howie did a great job of finding that with Devin White.
This should have happened a while ago. We got one of the best players on the Eagles who has not been on the show yet, came from Detroit, one of the best corners in the league for a long time now. Big part of that team that went to Super Bowl 2 years ago, and he's going to be back in Philly next year. Welcome to the show, Darius Slay. How you doing, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, dude. I've been watching you play a long time. When you came to Philly, I was psyched because, as a rusher, I know that you guys get us paid. And so I was very happy to see that they had some good corners on the team. And the first question I have for you is, HyperX is a gaming mic. So what kind of gaming you doing?
Man, I'm on all the games right now. For sure, MLB, the show, got to be on there, and some Warzone. I used to play 2K heavy. Not too much of a 2K guy right now. More like MLB and Warzone. That's all I play.
It's hard to play more than one game at once for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just, I get hooked on the one game and I play it for 6 months. And like right now, I'm on the Madden. You don't play any Madden.
I can't play. It's cheating, man. Too many cheating, man. Because I play DB. So if I'm in coverage and I'll be trying to, it don't correlate. I know,
dude. I agree.
It don't correlate.
It's not realistic. And I just want to say this: like, y'all are great athletes, but sometimes you'll be in like cover 3, like in the corners in the flat, and he'll make a play on like the out route at like 15 yards.
Right. It's wild. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you.
I don't know, man. It just don't make sense to me.
I'm glad to hear that.
Mad. I get too mad because I take the game too personal.
And then people start talking trash to you online, and you want to be hey, motherfucker, I do this for a living.
I do this for a fucking living.
you're just good at the game, okay?
Yes, that's it.
But yeah, no. I saw you did some gaming. You got the podcast, the whole thing, man. We'll get talking about that, but. My first thing I wanted to ask you was, and I just heard this, I guess, from your podcast, was that you were almost a Raven last year, and I didn't even hear about that at the time. Talk to me about what the calculus was for you after getting to the Super Bowl and thinking, hey, maybe I want to come back, maybe I want to go somewhere else. What was the situation and what made you come back?
What made me come back, man? I just know the area. I know it well. Dom do a great job, man, as being a good dude, man. Dom a great dude. He got me back for real because I was kind of like, I'll go with my defensive coach, Denard.
Yeah,
that's he's now the D coordinator at Tennessee, and he gave me a call. Me and him had a great relationship. So I was like, man, I might well go over here with Denard right now and get it in. But talking to Dom, man, Dom did a good job of keeping me here. But even though this is a great place to be, like Philly's an amazing spot, like it's amazing. But it's just that the fact that at the time they weren't, Eagles weren't offering the money that Ravens was offering. So I'm like, I might well go for the money. And it's a business move now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I didn't want to be there. It's more like business. So, but then, the Eagles came around with Dom and made it happen.
They never get mad at the GM or the owner. They get mad at the player.
All the time.
Instead of being like, why don't you pay Darius Slay more?
It's always that issue. I don't understand that, but that's just a part of the business though.
I'm glad you came back. And Dom, man, I remember when I got there, the first office I went in was Dom's, that little ass office. Did they get him bigger office yet, or is it still right there?
I think he don't want a bigger office. I mean, everybody know you go bust that right. They go Dom.
It's right next to the team meeting room. If you got something to talk about, if you need some calming down, it's right there. What was it like when he left for that stretch? Because people kind of joked about, and I don't think they fully understand what you guys were dealing with from a personnel standpoint, but people were like, yeah, it's Dom. Like, Dom's not there. Obviously, that's not the case why you lose the games at the end of the season, but was it weird not having Dom?
It's weird not having him on the sideline because, like, he kind of, like, gets everybody kind of going a little bit. He go chop it up with you on the sideline. Then, he very much plugged in. Like, definitely our Super Bowl year run, man, like, he had access to getting guys on the field. Next thing you know, we winning. we were blowing the team out. Next thing you know, we got Gilly the kid on the sideline, chopping it.
Right.
It's like he just made the sideline so like, you know, fun and lit. And he keeps it cool. You know what I'm saying? You could talk to him. You know, he's a great dude on the sideline, man.
We used to have Biz Marquis, God rest his soul, on the sideline. That was super cool. And Dom was chopping it up with all those guys. DJ Premier came down to a game. And so when you're in Philly, I don't know what it was like in Detroit, but you know, you're warming up before the game. You never know who you might see. It's just that atmosphere. It's like close to New York and the whole thing, and celebrities pop down. But Dom, to me, his best skill is keeping guys calm, which was the ironic part about him losing a little bit. You know, he's just got to deal with so much shit the whole week that nobody sees. And then his top blew when Buddy put his finger in his face.
Right.
Which is a no-no.
No. that you don't do that to Dom, man. Dom is really plugged in everywhere. So like he take care of everybody, man. He's a good dude, man. He take care of people that's not even on our team. So he just got a good heart, a good guy. So yeah, he kind of messed up with Dom, but I heard
well, it's great that he's back. Last year, what was the hardest thing about you weren't defending a title, but when you play into February, which is a new thing for you, having played on bad teams through most of your career, I was the same way. For me, it felt like a marathon. It really did. You know, like, did you feel that and then getting right back on the horse? You know what I mean? And what was the hardest thing about trying to get right back where you were?
The hard part is really just adjusting. Well, for me, it's just like, when do I go train? When I start back picking it up? Because I kind of pick it up around the same time because my body's so used to picking up around this time, because I ain't never made it this far in February. I'm one time in the playoffs, one game, going home. So it's like I start back working out a month and a half later. So now I'm in February. I'm still game ready because we playing in the Super Bowl, but how much recovery my body needs. So I'm thinking like, okay, Slay, you might need to take a little further into the off season because you just got done playing in February. And I think that's where I probably went wrong at with myself. I probably should have kicked it back up around the same time I usually do, because it kind of took me a minute to really get going in the season.
Yeah, no question. And then, you know, like I think with a lot of the young players, it's hard enough, but when you got guys coming off the street to play DB, and I'm not saying anything, you know, disrespectful. I'm not meaning to disrespect guys that hadn't had a lot of experience, because at one point you were young, I was young.
Yeah.
But these guys, they're seeing a lot of their first action, and you guys are working different combinations in every week, especially down the stretch. And I'm wondering, could you take us under the hood at what makes that so hard when you're lining up and you're looking at the other corner and it's somebody else, or you got Bradbury playing out of position, and like, what makes it so hard when you're running new people in?
It just the communication part, man, because like for me, instance, with me and Tay, like I understand what Tay wants at the nickel position. Like, so if we in a combination, I know Tay be like, okay, I know for a fact he's gonna take the low guy whenever he stutters. You know what I'm saying? Or if I got a new guy in, he might stutter and might think I still got the dude that's in front of me. Then I gotta, like, you know, so it's about like the combination and just understanding each other, communicating and talking, and just because everybody got different views of the game. I see different stuff. So I know the best thing about being a DB to be a successful secondary is everybody got to see it the same way.
Well, it was like when Fletch and I learned how to play with each other, it was like you didn't have to say a word.
You know what I'm saying? It's just line up.
Yeah, but the difference is when we fuck something up, nobody notices.
Never.
You know what I mean? So I kind of wonder, did that slide feel helpless? Because I'm watching and I know what it's like to show up on Sunday and you're just not good enough right now. And also on top of it, the mental part. Everybody's looking around waiting for something to go wrong. And when something goes wrong in the first quarter, some guys go in the tank.
Quick.
Did you feel that?
I tried my best as a stick together, because this year team, that last year team was a lot younger. A lot of guys went down earlier. Like Tay was hurt. He got hurt. You know, Reed missed a couple of games. So I had a lot of young guys rotating in and out. So it's like, as a veteran in league, it's like, how do I go about it? Because it's like, I was like year 11.
Yeah.
I got more years than the whole secondary combined out here on the one time. So I'm like,
yeah, dude.
So it was that was just difficult, you know what I'm saying? And with JB, you know, me and JB just try to do our best to, like, you know, help out. But corners is really only good as his safety as he communicates to him sometimes. That's just how it is. Because if my safety makes me understand what I'm doing and gets me in the right position because we don't hit the calls. We always on the side, definitely if you're the far corner. Like, so when younger guys, them young guys trying to come in, they just like, what's the play? I got the play. I'm doing my job. It's more like, hey, what's the call? You're looking at the other, like, because I'm not getting it. But
yeah, they get tunnel vision.
They get tunnel vision. So it's like, hey. So then I had to like, it was real difficult. But it was like, that's a part of leadership as being a veteran on the team. I had to try to make everybody comfortable as the best way they can because I ain't want to mess them up when they role playing because I want them to play fast. But so that was a lot was going on last year. Definitely.
Yeah, I wonder if when teams know that you have different combos and young guys in, do you see more motion? Do you see more condensed formations, more stacks and twists coming out of those stacks? Like, do people throw the kitchen sink at you?
Yes, and then what was crazy is our schedule was set up like that. We know with Miami Dolphins, they move and motion every play. They replay San Fran again, they motion every play.
Yeah.
So it was like it was like goodness, and like it was just too much going on. It's like we played every team that had the most motion is going on and everything. Because when some stuff get moving, the young boys get going crazy.
Yeah, they do. I just thought that Miami game y'all played pretty well because I thought the ends and you guys did a great job outside, but like. And that's a whole nother challenge. But the ends and Sweaty J and those guys, they did a good job in the flats to take away the outside running game and make it harder for them to get to what they want to do. When you look at Miami this year, they had OBJ. They got two of the fastest fucking guys in the world. What's the challenge when you play an offense like that?
To make sure them guys like that stay in front of you because we want them to take the long drive because the fact that speed is not recognized no more in the red zone. When you get 20 yards in, speed don't matter. He can't run out the back of the end zone.
Right.
So you try to stay in front of him. So guys like that, you got to because they do for a big play any given time. So my role was to say, keep these guys in front of us. Let's catch and tackle. If we have to, we make a play. We need to make a play. But as they get closer to the red zone, it's not that big of a factor when it comes to speed.
Yeah, that's how I play Madden. I just wait till people get in the red zone and I shut them down because I'm telling you, the field's too big out there, especially when you're playing a team like that. And I wonder when Tyreek goes in motion, I always say this about Miami, the play starts when he goes in motion. So, like the play goes from 4 to 6 seconds to 10 seconds. And the minute he starts running, somebody could be fucking up, and when you got young guys on the field. What's it like when you're traveling with a guy like Tyreek and he takes off across the formation? Is it way more uncomfortable because you're moving at the snap of the football?
Yeah, definitely for him because he got the advantage because he know where he's going. I don't know where he go stop. I don't know when he go do whatever. So I had to keep my eyes on him and keep running and with him being already faster than everybody in the league, shoot, it makes it very difficult, man. So he by far one of the hardest ones to guard like that.
Do you think with Vic coming in, and I'd heard rumblings that maybe guys were upset because they weren't traveling with the best receiver and that type of thing, and I understand maybe part of that schematic, maybe no right way to do it. Do you see yourself traveling more this year in Vic's system than maybe the corners in the past, or have you guys got any indication of how you might do that?
Well, I'm always up to travel. I told him, I even had a talk with him before, and I just said, hey, man, whatever you want me to do, I'm here to do it. That's me traveling or me just staying and left. Or whatever I need to do, I'm willing to do it. So I'm always a team open guy, but if I need to be traveling, I'll be traveling. But year 12 traveling? Ooh.
Yeah, year 12, man. That's
year 12. Hey, that's so like that's why we drafted the first rounder for.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think about these guys, man? Like, how are they fitting in? And what's the hardest thing about being a young corner or a safety? Making that jump from college to the pros.
It's gonna be good, man. I think the young guys doing very well. I'm doing my best job, mentoring. That's what I'm good for. I'm good for like mentoring kids. But these guys coming in and they working hard, man. They throw a lot at Dean. Dean as a young kid, he's play every position out there in the secondary, man. So he's a smart, intelligent guy, And Q, he getting better, explosive guy, man. Quinyon very explosive, very fast, very athletic. These guys coming in and playing, I can see these guys coming on and stepping on the field quick and fast because of the fact that, we need it. We got younger in the secondary. We brought Chauncey back, a guy that's a ball hawk that could go out there and attack the ball.
With these young guys, man, do y'all give Cooper DeJean shit because of his paint job?
Because his paint job?
Yeah, he's white.
Oh, my. Hey, no, not at all, man. Not at all.
You're man, like, wow, how did you get here? What's different about you, man?
Like he's special. Like I ain't met him. Like I saw Cooper DeJean. I saw him in high school playing basketball. Right, saw him just doing some windmill dunks and all kind of crazy stuff. I'm like, woo! Like, and then like I commented on there like literally like 4 years ago, and then he coming back said appreciate it and whatever. Then next thing you know, he get drafted to us, and then a week before it, he kind of said like start bench cut. He had Jalen Ramsey.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Myself. I'm like, dang, now we on teams. Like you need to reverse this. You know what I'm saying? Getting this. He talking about keep him in that order, and had me getting cut.
Hey, I never play those start bench cut deals because it's always disrespecting one great player.
For real.
You know,
I'm like, come on, man. And then he ended up being on the team, but
that's
so he like
so damn funny. But you were cool about that. Some dudes would be kind of assholes about that. You were cool about that. I like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty cool. I'll be taking jokes. I like to play around.
Do you think Fangio is a tough coach? Because that's what I hear about him. And are you cool with that? I mean, we both know Matty P. I know the history. And
yeah.
And I rock with Matty P, you know, but I also know he can be a little over the top with that stuff, with the New England stuff. And and I wonder, does Vic compare in a way of toughness, the way he coaches hard, the way he talks to guys? Because that was part of the question down there, was were the guys in Miami fans of Vic. I've heard nothing but good things about him, you know. But can the guys take the tough coaching?
Yeah, I think he's doing a great job right now, man. Yeah. So I don't do too many OTA practice. I'll be at home with the kids and the family. But the times I was down there, he was a good dude, man. Respectful. He's quiet though. You know what I'm saying? He more of a guy like you gotta go into his office. He really more detailed. Like he tell you from every position what job need to be done and how you do it, and this is how you want it to look, and he go about his day. So if you don't, he look like the type of coach that if you don't do what my job needs you to do, I don't care how much you get paid, I'm benching you.
So that's what you need.
Give me that type of vibe. So that's the type of coach you want.
Yeah, that's the type of coach you want. What's the toughest thing about playing cover 3?
Toughest part is, man, it depends on what kind of cover 3. If it's just a traditional one, or is it a tight fire zone one. So traditional.
Tell me the difference. Tell me like I don't know, because other than Madden, I never had to do this from back there.
The traditional cover 3 is more of like a loose third. So it's more like you split the difference between 1 and 2 if both of them go vertical. But if it's a tight 1/3, if one come vertical, that's your man totally. And like the nickel is more like a carry seam guy instead of a flat guy.
So would you call that a zone match, or is that less?
Yeah, it's sort of like a zone match. Yeah. So that's the difference. Yeah. It's like a fire zone, sometimes.
Yeah. So. Okay. That's good. I just learned something. Okay. Well, all right. Tell me this, the hip drop tackle. Have you guys talked about this? Because I feel like you're a guy that ends up in these tough situations, and I don't think there's anything malicious about it most of these times. And it's going to be really tough to litigate, but what does that do to you as a tackler, and what is the messaging being? Because I'm sure even with the little bit you've been down there, guys are talking about it.
Yeah, well, it's a tough task for definitely a corner, because we play the game from the side view.
Yeah,
a lot of guys we got to tackle from an angle, like from the side. We're not like safeties that come head on, linebackers that come head on. I feel like it was a attack to corners almost. Feel like, because the fact that if a running back come through the hole, we got to come from the side of them, and most likely they bigger than us, so they kind of drag us. So we got to pull our weight down to get them down. So it's like it'll be very tough, man. I don't know how to go about that, even though I'm not saying I'm not just one of the best tacklers in the world, but
yeah,
Jesus, I need to get them down.
I wasn't one of the best tacklers in the world. I flew in out of control, and from the side, defensive ends as well. We have to end up in these situations sometimes, and I know exactly what you're talking about, where you're like, you want to pull him backwards.
Yes.
And that's just like something I couldn't untrain my brain to do. Has anybody ever did a bigger 180 than CJ Gardner-Johnson? I fucking hate Philly. And then he comes running right back to Philly. Have you busted his balls about that about face?
We all talked about it, man. He gave a nice little apology to the fans and stuff, but he get going, man. If you don't know Chauncey gets it going, man. He got a mouth now, so but he come play with it. He backs his talk up a lot. So it was funny, the fact that he had to come back around in the circle and it just had to straighten that up. But that's funny.
Well, you know what the funniest thing about that guy is to me, and I've liked him ever since he was in New Orleans. So when they picked him up, I was like, yeah, he's the type of dog they need. But he led the league in getting people to snatch his chain. I think 3 guys got personal fouls snatching his chain in one season. He must have a mouthpiece on him, dude.
Oh, he does now. He going. I'm talking about nonstop. But I just had to ask him one time. I said, man, how do you talk this much in the game and still this energized? Like, what do you take that I need to take? Because I'll be tired in the game, and I can't talk to you. But for him, he talking every play. Every play, and it's good energy. It's great energy, man. Because he letting everybody have it. He's very communicative. So, but I can't talk that much. I'll be too tired.
Me neither. I pick my spots, and then when it comes to new guys, does the Devin White thing excite you? I just feel like he's the type of guy can make plays sideline to sideline. And that's something that was missing a little bit last year at that level of defense. Does it excite you, and how does it make your job easier to have a rangy backer?
Oh, man, great, man. He's very athletic, man, faster than what you think. Big guy, too. So, man, I was excited about that signing. I kind of had a vision right after we kind of played Tampa a little bit. I said, man, if Devin become a free agent, I could see him coming over here just because it feel like it's a fit for him. We need a linebacker because you've been here.
Yeah,
we D-line driven.
Always.
So it's D-line driven. So they just need the linebackers to be able to hit and run, and he does a good job of that. And he can cover. So that's one thing I think. Besides, we had TJ. TJ Edwards I think he was amazing. Him and Kaiser was an amazing combination of running, hitting, and cover. So I think Howie did a great job of finding that with Devin White.
Yeah, I love the moves Howie made this offseason. One of the moves I loved the most they made a couple years ago was Jalen Carter, because I think Jalen Carter can be special with a capital S. And when I watch him, he's a guy that makes me want to put my pads on, join the team again, so I can be like, hey, motherfucker, you could be the best ever. You're that good. You could be one of these guys they talk about like the best Eagle D lineman of all time. He's that talented.
Yeah, he's very good.
What does it have to be for him to take that next step as a leader? Because you got Fletch leaving, you got some guys, Kelsey. You need some of these young guys to step up a little bit. Do you see that intensity from him this offseason?
Yeah, man. He approaching it in a different manner. He's a guy that gets going too. So him and Chauncey, they about the same. They gets it going. They go give you a mouthful and go back it up. So man, he's a different beast. With Fletch, you could he said the same thing as in like, hey man, this kid could be very, very special, man. If he just like lock in and just do this and do that and do whatever, because I'm not in their room every day, but when he out there in practice, he's going. We in the game, he's going. Nobody's blocking him.
I mean, he made some rushes. There was a rush in the Seattle game that was, it's just the guys winning that quick are only the best in the league. And the attention that people pay to him already, now it's going to be even more with Fletch and those guys moving on. So as far as Nolan Smith's concerned, I felt like Nolan came in and they said it out loud. They were like, this is going to take a minute. We got to work on the body and get him a little stronger and that sort of thing. But when he's in the game, I really like the way he plays. What do you see from Nolan? And does he look a little different this year?
He looks a lot different this year. And one thing I can say about Nolan, ever since I met Nolan, he only know one speed. So he one of the guys you got to watch out for your own self because he hit teammates and everybody. So even in practice, man, he's the guy that's gonna run to the ball from the all coaches from the D line 10 yards. He not 10-yard guy. He more like I'm trying to see ball, get ball. So he gonna be a special year, man, for him this year, man. Especially after him running behind Hassan all year. I think it'll be very special.
That's what I want to see from Jalen, man. The Tampa game, he took off and decapitated somebody 5-7 yards down the field. He ran out of the stack. You know the one? Yeah. And I'm like, when you show me that, I know you can do it.
Every time.
I want to see it every time. So, yeah. And having CJ back, and that's just the tone setters, man. That's awesome. How about last year? I know you're thinking about getting in, and when you play Tampa, you're thinking about beating Tampa. But in the back of your mind, don't bullshit me. You're thinking about maybe playing Detroit at some point. Are you thinking? Are you looking at the bracket and saying, "Hey, maybe"?
I was looking. You know what I'm saying? This is just playoff talk now because it's serious ball. So we looked at the schedule like, okay, we got Tampa. We beat Tampa. We have to most likely go to Detroit, man. This is a, I'm not saying that any team is a pushover in this league, but this is a good favorite for us right now, because we could have been in a different seed and had to go to San Fran.
Yeah,
and they already spanked on us that year earlier. So it was like, all right, man, we could do that. We're not saying we looked over any team. It's just that as a position, I think that was our best position to go into.
And I think Howie's smart, because the thing we just talked about, the where you get into trouble against the Niners and the Dolphins is if the guys in the middle of the field are struggling, you're not going to be able to hang with those guys. You got to be able to have backers that can run. And I think like that's going to unlock being able to play those West Coast, hyperspeed type teams. So I'm psyched to see you guys this year, but I do want to stick on Detroit for a minute. Would you have pulled, or did you pull for the Lions, or did you pull for Stafford when they were playing that game?
Ooh, that's tough. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm very much of a big Stafford fan.
Me too.
Like I'm a big fan of Stafford, because like I said, I played with him for 7 years, and I'm a fan of Detroit, man, too, as well. Only thing I did not like about what Detroit did when they said they booed him coming out, like I understand it's the playoffs, but Staff did a lot. He done took a lot of beatings for that city, and yeah, he never had none of the best O-line like that line got now. Like they got a legit O-line, but back when Stafford was playing, we had probably like some legit guys, but the complete package, oh nah, they boys over there got a complete package. We had no running games crazy. We had none of that.
None of that. And the Rams are proof. Like the Rams, they got good O-linemen, but they're not world beaters. And what it is if you get that play action going, he's unstoppable.
Oh, Stafford dog.
He's incredible. Yeah, he's so tough too. That game was so fucking physical that I know you felt it because you play. I mean, like you and I can tell when we're watching a game, and I'm like, this is a bloodbath.
This is they wanted it. I knew Stafford wanted it real bad because of the fact that he wanted to beat Detroit. But man, Jesus, you could see it. He for sure was concussed and everything during that game. He was not coming out.
Sure. That's what we said. Said that's the oldest trick in the book. They said Amendola and Edelman had a system that when one of them had a concussion, they would help each other up and act like it was a leg injury.
Yeah, everybody know that Staff was concussed.
Yeah, no question.
He's not coming out though. He wasn't coming out that game.
That was just a fucking bloodbath. All right, so with the pod, has it gotten you in trouble before? Have you? Because I was always afraid to do it when I played, and not only because when I was a real good player, they didn't really have podcasts. By the time they had podcasts, I was older. I was a vet, and I was a good player, but not the type of guy that wants to get up there after a tough loss, and the fans want to hear from me. You were in a situation where you're one of the best players on the team, and it still, I would imagine, was hard.
That jump was hard because the fact that, like I said, I don't like rubbing folks the wrong way, but I do want everybody to enjoy the show. So to talk, definitely, we in Philly, so Philly not trying to hear no excuses, no nothing, which is cool. I appreciate all the Philly fans because they are amazing. But you say anything wrong, they go find a clip, and that clip go viral quick every time.
No question.
Every time. They don't even get the whole question. That'd be the problem. They take just a little 10 seconds of it and don't even get to the point where how the question even got answered.
There's no context, and aggregators never sleep, man. And you're realizing that being in the business and playing at the same time, that's tough. I mean, you'll say one thing and they'll cut the first 30 seconds out where you qualify it and compliment a player, and then the last 10 seconds is negative or construed that way. I couldn't imagine having to do it, which is why I'm like, hats off to you.
It's tough.
What was the toughest game to record after last year?
Ooh, that San Fran game.
Ooh,
that was tough. I almost said, hey, we got to go to next week.
Yeah. Victory Monday. The opposite of Victory Monday.
Hey, this is a Victory Monday for the pod. We ain't not going to be here this week. We need to talk about somebody else. But because that game was tough, because that was the game when, you got some old Eagles legends just saying we were scared to tackle, or they had this many yaks, and then then we got beat by 30. So it was so much going on that's like, boy, Slay, if you say anything they don't want to hear about this game, you go get an earful.
Well, it's tough. I hate that word soft. I don't use that word. I don't use that word about players.
You use that word.
Because a lot of the times, when you watch San Francisco game, they were just better. You know, they had better players on the field, and you guys were down in certain spots that it was just going to be hard, and it was a tough matchup. But you don't have. I saw you had my guy Rasul on, who's one of my favorite people of all time. Yeah. Rasul and I used to play pool after practice in Grays until probably 8 p.m. It's like shower pills. Let's just get right in there and run a game. So Rasul's my guy. You had Rasul on. I saw you had Devontae on. Do you want to have guests on? Do you like having guests on? And if you do you have when they ask you if you could have dinner with like 5 people and you always got to say Jesus and like 4 other people, if you had 5 guests or 3 guests like on the top of your list, you could just wave a wand and have that person. Who is it? Doesn't have to be a football player.
Oh man, one of them is for sure is Paul George.
Really?
Yes, I'm a big Paul George fan. That's one of my that's my second favorite player of like basketball because I'm like a big Paul George fan. So it's Kobe.
His podcast is great.
His podcast is amazing. I need to hop on that, man, and he need to hop on mine.
Hell yeah, dude.
But Paul George is one of my favorite players, so I love to watch chop it up with him. Steph Curry, another dude I want to talk to, and who else I like to talk to?
What about a musician?
I'm going to Lil Wayne. That's often to go.
Dude,
Wayne.
That's crazy. Last night we were driving down the road. I said, we need to get Wayne on one day. He's on my bucket list. And then my brother works for the Raiders now. He sells sweets. He just texted me and said he's going to meet Wayne tomorrow. Wayne's going to like some soccer game. And I guess he's got to escort Wayne into the building. I was like, please be cool, bro. Just fucking play it cool, dude.
Play it cool, please. Like, yeah. And I was told him throw my podcast in there.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say, but I was afraid that he'd be a little too forward, too nervous, and that he might never want to come on. But I met Wayne in 2009 at the Super Bowl my second year, and he was interviewing people. And I told him after the interview, I go, bro, the Suffix is like my favorite mixtape, and he couldn't even remember what the Suffix was. He's got so many. Remember back in the day, now he had so many.
Man, he got too many classes. Man, all the droughts,
Drought 3.
Man, come on, man.
You're older. So when people the music now in the locker room, I don't like the music. I hate it, bro. I'm with you.
I hate it. It's bad.
It's bad. Yeah,
it's bad. I put my own headphones in.
Hell yeah,
and
dude.
It looks like I'm just trying to be a distance from the team. It's not.
Who controls the music in the locker room now?
Well, the weight room, BG and myself or Hertz or somebody or AJ or somebody. With anybody that's a cat that do the weight room, but in the main locker room, man, jokers be just plugging up. Everybody be plugging up.
You got 5 different songs on at once. It's like fucking crazy.
It be kids I didn't never even heard of rapping. They be just. I'm like, man, who is this? Like,
speaking of BG, does he still put his pants on at like 9 a.m. for a 2 p.m. practice?
Every day. I asked him when I first got here, I said, BG, what you doing? Like, we don't got practice till 2 hours. He like, I just already like to get ready.
Because he wants more time to eat.
He full padded now, not like just the pants. The pads in there, knee pads and everything. Like, I'm like.
That's what scares me about that guy. Anybody who gets dressed for practice at 10 a.m., I'm like, there's something off about you, man.
I'm off.
All right, so the last thing I want to talk to you about, man, was I saw you talking about Champ Bailey, like how important his game is to you. And my producer here, Cowboy Reed's a big Broncos fan, so go Broncos. But what is it about Champ's game that you gravitate to?
Everything, man. So Champ is from an area from where I'm at. He's really like, where I'm born and raised at, he really like probably 45 minutes from my hometown. Yeah. So everybody he was like the standard.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't like Champ, you wouldn't like nothing. So I was the next ones chasing after Champ. So I'm like, I always wanted to be like Champ when I was growing up as a kid, because that's what everybody talking about. All the Bailey brothers. That's what they call them, the Bailey brothers, because all 3 of them was amazing at what they did. Yeah. So that's who, at Southeast Georgia, that's all we just looked up to is Champ. Definitely if you play the skill position. So I watched him all the way go through Georgia. I wanted to go to Georgia.
What the hell happened there? Not that Mississippi State's awesome. Mississippi State's great. They got so many good pros.
Yeah. They wanted me to play a little bit of running back a little bit. And then I'm like, nah, man, my body ain't built for running back, because I was playing running back in high school.
Yeah.
But they said they wanted to bulk me up a little bit. I said, nah, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
And then so I want to kind of be a receiver or a DB. And I knew DB I wanted to be in Hart, but whoever wanted me the best. So I Mississippi State kind of wanted me, because I was getting recruited too in a little bit in Florida a little bit.
Yeah.
And Dan Mullen became the head coach at Mississippi State my freshman year. So that would kind of like connect me with Mississippi State a little bit.
Yeah. You being a receiver probably helped you with the ball skills. I can tell watching that at some point you played the other side of the ball.
Easily, yeah. That's why.
Yeah.
But
all right,
GOAT, man.
So give me last thing. Give me a. You got Champ on there, but I'll call it not Mount Rushmore, Mount Covermore. Who's on Mount Covermore? Give me the best 4 of all time in your opinion, or your favorite 4, because somebody's going to criticize this list. But
yeah, it's my favorite 4 that I feel is like that.
And if we do a social, I will post the context. Podcaster.
DeJean, Champ, Revis, and Charles Woodson.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that list. All right, let me ask you this: who's the most underrated receiver in the league right now?
Most underrated one?
Yeah, who doesn't get enough credit?
Ooh, underrated. Who really be doing that thing out there? He kind of not underrated no more because he just stopped popping up. But a guy that's kind of like been a consistent 1,000-yard receiver and then been doing his thing, and people still don't give him credit, is really Amari Cooper.
Oh, Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper. You know what it is about Amari Cooper? He doesn't say a fucking word.
That's it. He really the one that's really be slept on. He been a consistent receiver since he been in the league and been dominating, routing folks. He really the only receiver that really I truly think that has a true route tree as it can run all the routes. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys got special abilities to be running faster, or somebody that's 6'6", 6'5" can just moss you because he's bigger than you. But Amari Cooper, off the line of scrimmage, he's amazing. After the catch, he's amazing. He can attack the ball. So I really be thinking he's the most unappreciated receiver in the league. But
I would agree. That's a great answer. And I don't know if you saw that game of catch him and Flacco had when they played the Texans. I think it was
yes,
bro, they were just playing catch out there.
Oh, I'm talking about and getting groovy.
It was amazing. I mean, anybody that doubts what he just said, go watch Amari Cooper and watch how Amari Cooper makes every quarterback better. He's played with a bunch of different guys. So that's
he does. And people and I'm seeing right now that Cleveland don't want to pay him. They need to pay that man that money.
Pay that man. Slay's looking out. Big Play Slay podcast is the podcast. And, I see the socials all the time. I'm always in awe that this guy is doing it while he's playing. So Eagles fans, if you haven't, which I'm sure you have, check this damn podcast out. And Slay, I'm excited to see you guys this year. New look, new team. You might be back again, man. So I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, that's the goal, man. I need one before I go get out this game. I need me a bowl.
Hell yeah, dude. It's worth it. Enjoy.
Oh, sir.